What's up, nerds? It's NerdJosh25 back with another video, and today I'm going to show you a battle from the Paldea Colosseum group I found on Facebook, and it's a really great group of people, and they are really strong trainers. They have their own gym league, an Elite Four, and a champion, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity for me to better myself as a Pokemon VGC battler, and as well as connect with new trainers. And let's hop into this battle against the Ghost Gym Leader Ronny. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you the rules. They battle with either single or double battle formats, and they go by normal rules. So you can have 2 to 6 Pokemon. It's full 6-on-6 full battles, and they don't allow one-hit KO moves because of stuff that happened in the season prior. But you'll see here coming up that my Ting Lu does have Fissure. I did not click it because I had it locked in for the upcoming global challenge, and right away I'm thinking this is not the team that I battled before, because the last team that I battled, he had not a Lunala but a Giratina, and that's very hard to deal with. And as you see, there's my team. I'm running Safety Goggles, Wellspring Ogerpine, Assault Vest Ting Lu, Throat Sprayer Luna, Power Glimora, and Heavy Boots Arcanine. And right away I think of how can I get off to a good start. I'm thinking I'll start with Glimora and Ursaluna, get some poison off, and do some damage, but that's clearly not going to be the case here. And I really respect these guys. They're really, really nice, great group of guys. I'm not going to be able to express that enough. And they definitely give you tips to help you after the battles, and it's just really great overall experience. And as you see here, he starts out with Sableye and Basculegion, and I'm going out my Glimora and Ursaluna. I'm thinking I can get Poison set up, and I can get a Hyper Voice, but immediately when I see Basculegion, I'm thinking, okay, maybe a Rain Dance into a Wave Crash into my Ursaluna or Glimora. So I decided to go for Mortal Spin, and with Ursaluna I just protect here to try to level the field and just get a feel for what he's trying to do here. There goes the Light Screen. We're going to hit him with the Mortal Spin, and the Sableye is going to get poisoned, which is another excellent point to bring up. They do have a status clause like they do in Pokemon Showdown, but there's only a certain case of that. Like for Mortal Spin, I even clarified with them. Mortal Spin is completely fair, but you can't deliberately Thunder Wave both Pokemon that are out in the field. Same with like Sleep Powder and just in general like that. But you can set up Toxic Spike, so that's free. Otherwise, they said Glimora and those kind of Pokemon would be not very viable to use. And so right off the bat, and I wish I could have recorded my first 4 battles with the league that I won. I got the Fighting, Flying, Dark, and Rock gym badges, and if you win the gym, you get a shiny badge, which in this case is a shiny Pokemon, but that's not really the case. Like with Ronny here, you get the shiny badge you beat him in a singles battle, which I feel like would be more difficult for me because I've only really done doubles for most of the time that I've done Pokemon competitive battling, and it'd be really hard to build a strategy of it going forward. But as you can see, the Wave Crash comes through. I tried to Intimidate to get more damage and to like lessen that, but that's clearly not the case as Arcanine goes down and my main Intimidate factor is gone. I can't capture any more opponents off guard with Intimidate with those switch-ins. And I will say right off the bat, Ronny has an amazing Ghost type team. Like I said before, he got a Giratina on this with the Terra type Electric. And from what I heard, that he and another gym leader basically didn't lose a single gym battle all season. For the first season, that was in January. I battled them back then, and I'm like, oh, this is very difficult. But regardless, I go for a Meteor Beam here to try to get some damage off onto the Sableye, and then follow me to do some redirect. I definitely could have played this a lot better, but as you can see, Ronny goes for the switch in here. He's going to bring out his Midas, the Goldango, the shiny Goldango actually. Fun fact, I actually got to be able to trade with him to get that. And then Sableye's going to come out, and then here comes the most targeted, or I guess not most targeted, but the most problematic member of Ronny's team from this battle. Obviously, there's definitely going to be battles where there's greater challenges, but this cup of matcha is one of the reasons why this battle will go downhill fast for me. I go to the follow me, not going to do anything. I could have just been better off attacking here, but I decided to Meteor Beam into that slot where Sinistra took over the Sableye, and it's barely going to do any damage even with the attack boost because I forget there's a light screen in effect. So as you can see here, we barely do a little under half damage, and I'm thinking, what do I do now? I can't really get off any more strong defensive attacks because my main weapon against this team, as you could tell, was my Arcanine and Blaziken with the fire type damage onto these two Pokemon. And I think that's one of the things that is really interesting because as you can see here, I go for the Ivy Cudgel, not much. But right here is where the biggest goof I made is the nasty plots here. See, Sinistra gets down to yellow, but the strength sap is going to bring it back up to full health because that's what it does. It'll drain you of your attack power, and it'll just hit you with Macha Gotcha and it'll just take you down. But Meteor Beam here, I'm trying to get some more special attack up for it. And I go into the Goldengo again, hoping to get a KO, maybe a crit, something to help me with this battle a lot more. But here, minus goes for Protect. I realized that if I would have doubled down into Sinistra, I probably could have got the KO there. At the same time, I may want to switch up my Sinistra, not my Sinistra, my Ogerpon to the Heart Flame to get more offensive damage. But with the Grass type Ogerpon with the Defiant ability, that would be really great as a counter to Sinistra. But also at the same time, it makes me more prone to more attacks. So going forward, I'm gonna have to relook at my Ogerpon build here. Obviously, you only get one Ogerpon, but you got 4 different forms to choose from. And here, I'm thinking, what do I do? Glamora's got the Meteor Beam up. I decided, let's just go with another switch here. I'm gonna bring in Tinglu Bullwinkle to try to lessen the damage with its Vessel of Ruins, and try to lower the special attack and try to get off another hit here. But here comes the Shadow Ball. It's gonna obliterate Glamora. One hit, done. Nasty Plot is dangerous on a Goldengo, and really it's also dangerous on any Pokemon if you build them the right way and raise them the right way and train them. Like this Macha Gotcha right here, it's just bam, under half already, and I just swap in. And the burn. The burn is what takes away my offensive power here on my Tinglu, and I don't know what else to do at this point, and I'm kind of going into a panic mode. I'm like, okay, I gotta get back on the offensive. We're gonna bring in Blaziken here. I'm starting to think that if my Blaziken had a Pokesash, I would be in better shape because I could get off the Swords Dance, as well as not just having to click Protect every time. But I decided I'm going to go to the offensive, and we're going to attack the Goldengo. I'm going to get a speed boost here, try to get more damage off, and let's see what he does here. And honestly, he's a really great trainer and a really great person. I'm not sure how many times I'm going to say that in this video, but it's just really cool that there's trainers that like to have these battles for fun in a non-competitive environment. Because I feel like if you get into competitives, you can get to a really toxic environment in some cases, but here that's not really the case. They are very strict on making it a fun and safe place for trainers to come and just battle and just have fun with it. They have fun events going on throughout the gym season as well. But here comes my Macha Gotcha into my Tinglu and knocks out Bullwinkle and sends him back to Frostbite Falls, Minnesota. Rough. That is rough. But we get the speed boost off here, and I'm thinking I need more damage. And I only got 3 Pokemon left to his, I don't even think 6 at this point. I don't even think I've knocked out a Pokemon at this point. But I decide that I'm going to bring in Ursaluna and try to attack with some Mind's Eye shenanigans. But here we go. I decide I've already set up something. His Flex going down. And I'm thinking, what can I do here? I could go Flare Blitz into Midas, and then I decided to Blood Moon into Sinister. Now, what I should have done was do Hyper Voice to get this throat spray off, but this caught Ronny off guard when he realized that my Blaziken had the safety goggles, as it declines Rage Power, and I get a KO. I'm not gonna get swept by this guy, which happened a lot in the first season when I battled him, and I think me trying to figure out a way to build a team for each specific gym leader was a mistake on my part, because I really need to stick to what I know, because you can't just have a clear type advantage. And that's another thing they don't like. They don't want you to snipe a team. Like with Ronny being a ghost type gym leader, you can't battle the gym with only dark and normal types. Like, that's frowned upon in this community. Now, move pools are different, but if you have a Pokemon type that is all one or two types that are really effective against that gym leader, they're going to tell them the match is invalid and they're going to have to reset, which I learned about the hard way my first season here. But in the end, it actually made me enhance my team building skills and to come up with cool new strategies. Ronny himself even said that I've built some really cool teams, and you know, it's just really cool to get that compliment from someone when you're trying to, you know, better yourself as a competitive Pokemon battler. But here comes Macha into Blaziken, not going to do much. That is my only saving grace right now, is that Blaziken is still out on that field. And Sableye's going to take some poison damage here. And the Reflect is gone now, but that's easily going to be set up again by Sableye. And so I'm like, what should I do here? I need to get some damage off. Let's just go for a Flare Blitz. I should have Flare Blitzed here into the Sinistcha, but instead I try to go for Earthquake to try to get all around damage, along with the Hyper Voice, trying to get those two out of commission. But here comes the Reflect from Sableye, and here comes an Earthquake from Blaziken. Brings the Sableye down to the red, and here comes the Macha. The move that has forsaken my team. This floating cup of Macha has decimated my team as a whole. And, you know, we even talked about afterwards, Sinistcha is the MVP of this battle. And I've only gotten 1k off in this entire battle, which, it's fine. It's not a sweep, but at the same time, I'm like, I could have done more on this team than I wanted to. But at the same time, you know, it's sometimes your strategies just go out the window, and you gotta figure out something else. That's another great thing about battling. Find new ways to win, I guess. But we're coming near to the end here. I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna Flare Blitz here, and I will just Spiky Shield my Ogerpon to save me some face. Basically delaying the inevitable here. Trying to see if I can get one more KO to make it look a little bit better on my stat sheet. But here comes Flare Blitz into the Sinistcha. We get it down to red, and we burned it. We burned the hot cup of Macha. And I get knocked out with the Rocky Helmet. Blaziken goes down here. And here comes the Macha. Not gonna work because we blocked it. And Sableye goes for a foul play here, which caught me off guard. I didn't know what he was gonna go for in this last turn. But he gets hurt. We get another knockout. So it's gonna be currently 4-1, which I wish that burn would have got off. What I could have done here was probably could have Spiky Shield on the next turn here to like see if that burn damage. But here comes Lunala, the Blood Moon Lord. I'm gonna call it the Blood Moon Lord, although Ronny calls it the Moon Lord. But here comes, and I'm just like delaying the inevitable here. I'm like, I'll just Ivy Cudgel into Lunala, see how much damage I can get. It's in the rain, maybe I can get a crit. Nope, it barely does a quarter of the damage. And here comes Moongeist Beam, the cherry on top of this hot cup of tea that was spilled onto my lap by this floating cup of Macha. And honestly, this was a great game for me to learn about it, because not only did I learn more about the ghost types, but I also learned a little bit more about how to work with a Sinistcha. But yeah, 4-6 is the final. I got 2 KOs. I could have got something else better. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to have more of these battles coming up here soon. The next battle is going to be against the normal type gym leader, which is very difficult to defeat. He is also one of the undefeated gym leaders. I think his record last season was 36-0, and you'll see why in the next video. But hit that like and subscribe button. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, peace out, nerds.